a creative crisis. Because if large entities like Google, if venture capitalist firms who are pumping millions of dollars into creativity to allow it to happen are pulling out because there is no money in the creativity, there is money in the reaction to the creativity, we have a problem.
Right.
We have a serious problem. You couple that with art being taken out of the school and the Ta-Nehisi Coates book, the Ta-Nehisi Coates point that he makes in the book, which is we don't teach students to be creative in the application of their education. We teach students to be repositories of information, to be able to dictate information as if they were human flashcards. That being said, sweetheart, there's something semi-seriously we need to talk about.
Okay.
We are in the midst of a creator crisis. I wish we had the sound. I give you the Undertaker sound right now. We are in the midst of a creator crisis. And two, I think to everybody who's on here right now is obvious. But I want to split this up into two parts. I want to talk about the crisis itself, and then I want to break into, after the break, I want to talk about the current era of the crisis that we're in. But to get there, we have to talk about, as the Wake and Bake BMO way goes, we have to talk about something that seems to be completely irrelevant. And that is a YouTube channel called Donut. Donut is a YouTube channel. They do automotive creativity. And the reason why I've noticed Donut is because at one point I thought Donut was doing some of the most creative and innovative YouTube videos. Right? If you consider YouTube as a broadcast station, this Donut channel would very much be like GTV from back in the day, Gear TV from back in the day, Gearhead TV from back in the day. All these, it's like Mythbusters, but on cars. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So saying that to say that the broadcast capabilities were there, right? The programming broadcast capabilities were there, the technology was there, the funding was there, everything was there to keep this channel to be a very beautiful and original station. But things start to change. You can play that first video. So
the largest car channel is getting too generic. Donut Media has exploded and does incredible series like Hilo, The D-List, and more with over 7 million subscribers. But some of their most popular videos most recently are reviewing Amazon and Alibaba parts, which has car enthusiasts feeling almost a little bit left behind. People who started watching 5 years ago are upset that Donut isn't doing the stuff that they used to or builds 24/7. So what gives? Well, even with a big channel, the Donut team is still relatively small, and their car building content is mostly just them doing it. The recent Hilo season took 3 WRX cars and 7 engines to do, and had almost all the work done by the team in their shop, not by some massive company. And we are getting a little spoiled with YouTubers building cars in 4 days these days with a massive team behind them. So even though the review content may not be your cup of tea, that doesn't mean that they're making bad content. Maybe just not what you want. What are your thoughts, and do you think that...
I completely disagree with his editorial at the end about if it's not the content you like, just be patient. But what I have noticed in looking into Donut a little bit more is that the way they were able to afford, the way they're able to afford 7 people essentially doing car content on one channel is that they were backed by a venture capitalist firm, right? And in the recent years, this venture capitalist firm, like most venture capitalist firms, this is actually the second time this happened in YouTube history, where venture capitalist firms start to pull away from YouTube content. There is a time when they push into YouTube content because they feel like it is creative real estate that they could use for the benefit of themselves, for the benefit of their portfolio. But when those things start to become expensive, these venture capitalist firms pull out. And when they pull out, that means that the content that these channels are able to make has to become cheaper. And this is when I noticed the beginnings of this second wave of a creator crisis. Now, it could have been in the music that we listened to last season. We accused a young man of sounding too much like Marvin Gaye, that he's using AI voice. I still think he is. What's that boy name? August Alsina? That's not the boy name.
October London.
October London. August Alsina. October London. We accused him. You could have said that. You could have said in 2012 when we stopped using live instrumentation and we started depending completely on synthesized sound, especially in hip hop, that the creator crisis would have started. But when I saw this This to me indicates that we are at the height of this creator crisis, which means something is about to happen. The originality of creativity has lost its value, and I mean that in a very financial sense. If venture capitalists who are pumping millions of dollars into these YouTube channels to get a return are starting to pull those millions of dollars out on the guise that originality is no longer profitable, we're starting to have a larger problem. One of those recession problems, one of those crisis problems, one of those depression problems. Okay, so we're talking about originality. We're talking about corporate sponsorship. We're talking about the money that is infused into these creative channels to keep them original, because the original, what the old blueprint was, or one of the blueprints is that we like to invest in things that are original, because if we get copies of things, we can't necessarily monetize those things in the same way. But something interesting happened, sweetheart. In our last foray, when we were working with Google for a little while, they released a report. The YouTube Culture and Trends team released a report. And if you're not following the YouTube Culture and Trends team, I'm afraid that you don't have a true grasp on what internet trends are. But that's okay. We'll get to that. We'll get to that soon. Not today, not tomorrow, maybe never, but we'll get to it one day. The YouTube Culture and Trends team puts out this report, sweetheart, and I'd love for you to read the bolded parts of this report, if you will.
Casual fans may just consume media, but super fans routinely create media about the object of their fandom. 85% of people online aged 14 to 44 describe themselves as a fan of someone or something. Creators are often objects of fandom and fans at the same time.
So there is a new theory, and I'll definitely let y'all go check this out. Go to the YouTube Culture and Trends.com. They have their new 2024 Culture and Trends report, and it is on fandom. YouTube, Google have done research, they have created a theory, and they believe that in 2024 and beyond, that the majority of fans on YouTube and on the internet will participate in fandom, not just by casually observing, but by creating content that then, not casually observing, but creating content around originality.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Okay. And they give a great example. And when I give this example, I feel like this will become a little more clear about what Google, what YouTube, and what these massive platforms are interested in as it pertains to the content that we put on their platforms. It's going to make a lot of sense. There's a lot of creators in the room. Just pay attention to me real quick. Click the next joint for me. We'll get it ready for me. Was it Digital Circus?
Yeah.
All right. So later on in this report, YouTube used a beautiful example. There is a YouTube series called the Animated Digital Circus. I can't remember exactly what it's called. What it's called, right? Episode 1 of the animated. There's only 3 episodes of this animated show, completely original. In this report, YouTube celebrates that on episode 1, this video of the animated circus got, let's call it 20 million views. And to you and I, I'm sorry, it got 500 million views, excuse me. That would have been brilliant on its own, right? In 2019, if you would have told me 500 million views on a YouTube video, you'd be like, damn, that's pretty impressive. That's more views than the Super Bowl. That's more views than insert television event, right? But in 2024, when YouTube is saying that fans are no longer casual observers, they are now participators in creativity, guess what number they celebrate more than the 500 million?
What?
Between episode 1 and episode 2, yes, there were 500 million views on the Digital Circus, but there were 25 billion views on all the reaction content, on all the behind the scenes content, on all the things that dealt with the originality, on all the responses to the originality, on what they're calling the super fandom, which is the participation in the originality. YouTube celebrates that more than the actual original content. And I'd like to show you the original content. Go ahead and play the next joint for me, sweetheart.
Coming soon on an all-new episode of the Amazing Digital Circus. Our friends find themselves in the decrepit manor of the Milden Halls.
Except me. I'm not going on a stupid haunted house adventure.
Ooh, look, I team up with Pomni in this adventure. That should be fun. And look at that vacuum cleaner. You love vacuum cleaners, don't you, Zubul?
No. Why would you think I like vacuum? Wait, was that me in therapy?
No, I think that was me with a shotgun.
Oh, great. This is gonna suck, isn't it?
See you all there whenever this thing comes out.
Wasn't I supposed to be the narrator? Why'd they interrupt me? And I've been teleported to...
So I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think that's any good, to be honest with you. I think it is a little brain rot, a little extravagant, and I don't think it's a cohesive cartoon. I've watched the actual digital circuses themselves. I don't feel like they hold a candle to anything the Looney Tunes did. They don't hold a candle to that era of Cartoon Network. They had Cow and Chicken and Ed, Edd and Eddie, and they don't hold a candle to any of the Nickelodeon shows that they had, like Rocko's Modern Life or Doug. Don't even come close. But yet this particular piece of animated media is generating billions of views around it. And now, to me, we have entered into what I consider a creative crisis. And I really mean a creative crisis. Because if large entities like Google, if venture capitalist firms who are pumping millions of dollars into creativity to allow it to happen are pulling out because there is no money in the creativity, there is money in the reaction to the creativity, we have a problem.
Right.
We have a serious problem. You couple that with art being taken out of the school and the Ta-Nehisi Coates point that he makes in the book, which is we don't teach students to be creative in the application of the education. We teach students to be repositories of information, to be able to dictate information as if they were human flashcards, not to see if they can apply information to their educational arrangement, which is why Ta-Nehisi Coates can write a New York the second New York bestseller. He can go on a world book tour. He could be a world-renowned artist. He could be known as one of the most profitable black artists of our time, but graduated from school with a 2.4.
Mm-hmm.
I am concerned. And the reason why I'm concerned is because this originality crisis, this creator crisis, has yielded a direct result. A result that I think is detrimental to everybody who's on this call right now. Everybody who is an original creator. What YouTube is telling you to do, what these venture capitalists is telling you to do, what these lessons from donuts is telling you to do, is that don't be original, react. Mm-hmm. Don't create, respond. Don't make a new, innovate. And the reason why they are telling you that, and here's the kicker, y'all. The reason why they are telling you that is because everybody can do that. Mm-hmm. And if everybody on the internet is participating in this reaction culture, then we have no need for creativity. We have no need for originality. I have no need to pay you for that. I don't need to pay one person $2 million to do something original when the entire internet is going to respond to something mid, and I could just pay them nothing and throw my AdSense on there.
Right.
We're in the midst of a creative crisis.
The best part of waking up is being more and